Alright guys, welcome back. So I'm going to show you some test games I was playing, and we were messing around and messing with Stasis a little bit here, and we had a whole nother set of games I don't have a recording of because we were literally building as we were going, so it was very boring and cut out and out that time, so I did not do that one. But I'll give you an idea of kind of how this, I'm going to call it for short Bloody Deck so I don't get in trouble by cursing on YouTube. So we're just going to leave it as Bloody, and you guys can fill the rest in yourself. But Bloody Bum, we'll call it, and stick to that for the moment. Alright, so here's Texas Old School again. I've talked about this a lot, so we can skip this part. Here's the deck photo of what I was playing with. When I was playing, I had 2 Blood Moons and Amnesia main. But I found there was times where it was counterproductive because of the draw 7s. But because it's a chess game, it didn't really bother me all that much. But I thought 3 Blood Moons to start off was better because it allowed a better chance for me to slow you down to put out my Djinn or the other creatures and get enough of attack through. So I want to kind of go through and show you a video here. This is against, I had no idea at the time, but this is a Stasis deck. And I saw an island, but that means nothing. Everybody usually plays some basic islands in Texas. So if you're playing a deck and you have extra cards because you're playing 2 colors, you're probably going to have some basics in there. That allows, honestly, your land tax to go along with things. Think about it. If I have 5 basics and I get I play 2 land taxes main. Say I'm playing an Enchantress deck or something, I can draw those lands out of my deck for no other reason other than just to make sure that when I play an enchantment, I end up drawing more non-land cards. So right there's a Howling Mine. I started off with a Flying Man, which is 99% of my openers are going to have a Flying Man in it because I have a 4 of them. So I usually always have Orcs and Flying Men in my opening hand. Alright, so there is an attack for 1. He's already tapped, so I'm not stressing what I'm doing. I'm just going to go off here and see what happens. Now, I had a thought I was going to originally sack the Lotus. That's why I played it. My son is really excited watching this, so you hear him, he's starting to learn how to talk. So he's saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's trying to say yeah like he's excited. So we don't see anything yet. Obviously, you're not going to Stasis because nothing's going on. So I'm going to test the waters here, and I'm going to throw a bolt out. Now, you guys watching, put in the comments, if I'm slinging a bolt for no reason, what does that tell you? That tells you what my hand is. So if you have an idea and you got it right, put it in the comments, hey, I know why. But if you see someone just sling a lightning bolt out and they're a good Magic player, it's because they have more burn in their hand. That's the reason. They have burn to get rid of. It's the same thing. If I have 3 counter spells in hand and I can only play 1 counter spell, I might counter something like a Djinn, or not a Djinn, like an Efreet or even an Orc if I'm behind, just because I don't want that many counter spells in hand. Like the deck, I'll get it back. So as you see there, I was trying to keep my guy. I did not expect 2 unsummons ever in my mind. So that was a shock to me. I'm not used to seeing unsummons played main. I thought this was like a Twiddle Vault or something at this time. Something that somebody was demonic tutoring with a vault and, you know, draw engines to try and do some kind of Twiddle Vault thing or something, even though, you know, we have restrictions, but apparently I forgot my mana drain on the table too. But he's at 15 at the moment. I did try for a quick kill shot to see what happened. But he's going to have to do something here. This is my buddy Travis. We were testing out Stasis. But like I said, at the moment, I had no idea what it was. But if you have thoughts for Stasis, let me know. Stasis would definitely be a fun deck. But I think you have to merge other colors and maybe think a little outside the box with Stasis. Alright, so Travis decided to pass the turn there. He does have Stasis and all those things in the hand. I can tell by how long he lasted, how long he thought. He kept playing with certain cards in his hand. I know he has Stasis. Again, that mana drain should be out. So I'm going to play a dib. I don't know. Waiting for myself to realize there's a mana drain on the table. Dib is countered. Oh, because I had an extra land off of it, so I did get the 1 mana. Usually I put a dice there. I forgot, guys. My son ran off with my dice, and I couldn't find any of my dice. So if you need life totals, look off of Travis's phone there. So there's a time walk, which is what I was hoping I have the dib out for. Now there's an orc. So he's at 14. He's looking down already 3. I have 3 mana untapped. If I'm playing a burn deck with 3 mana untapped, what does that tell you I have in hand? It should give away what my card is. There's going to be 2 different cards I can have in my hand, but with 3 land, specifically 3, what I have untapped should tell you. If I played a dib and I left 2, that's counterspell. If I played 2 and left 3, I'm probably going to try and hit you for 4 on your end step. So this should tell Travis he's got a Psionic Blast coming this turn. Now the problem I have with normal Stasis decks is normal Stasis decks play Howling Mines and Vices for the win. I think you guys need to start thinking of Stasis outside the box. Because if I'm not tapping myself out, how are you going to get your Stasis out? It's not going to really do you any good unless you sideboard in or play some, mana shorts or something. But how often is mana short going to be? I don't know. That's why you don't see mana short main decks all the time. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. I don't really remember because we played so many games. I think we played like 12 games or something like that. But there, I just gave it away because how I was looking. So there's a Psionic Blast. He's down to 9. I'm going to play a city, attack for 3. I'm guessing I have enough burn in my hand probably to finish him off. Nope, I'm going to try and throw Dijin down. Alright, there's the counter spell for the Dijin. I'm going to pass with 2. And he's most likely going to die next turn. I'm guessing I have a bolt in hand. I have 2 untapped, but I did not counter your counter spell, so that tells me I didn't have one. There's Stasis, but I think that might be a little bit too late. Let's find out. Again, I never fully tap out. Alright, there's a Flying Man. And an Orc. So there's 3 damage coming your way. So I did not have a bolt, but if I'm drawing 2 cards per turn, I'm going to end up getting a land and a bolt to finish off. So I'm at 17 at the moment. And there's the pass. Let's see what Travis is going to obviously pay. There's no way he's letting me untap. Yep, my son's agreeing here. Can I have a high five, buddy? So you might hear Bluey a little bit closer now, but I have my son right next to me, so he's within arm's reach of me, watching Bluey on a screen while I'm doing this. So I can see him 24/7 and play with him, keep an eye on him. So we sit here and play dinosaurs and stuff while I do this a lot. So here's the part where Travis is really having a problem here. So he's can't do anything. He's gonna pass. I'm gonna swing for 3, putting him at 3. Let's see what those 2 cards were. Oh, looks like I forgot about Howling Mine because I only picked up 1. So there's a boomerang, it looks like, going off for his stasis to keep himself in. It's going to give him the best chance he can. I think right about now, if I actually remember the right game. Yep. Yeah, I didn't even look, but it's a may, or it's a must. If it's a must, you must draw that card. If you forgot, you must draw that card. If it's may and you didn't draw it, then that's fine, but there's Stasis. Now, just a thought, I probably would have kept the factory untapped in case I happen to play an orc. But he's trying to do a whole time elemental thing, so you see him, he's going to want to bounce that Stasis back to his hand with a boomerang and then just basically play time elemental the whole time. But he's already at 3 life, so it's pretty much game over at this point. Looks like I didn't draw. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, I was showing him out. So I did draw. I had to bolt or I had to land and have a bolt, but either way, there's end game, and that's what was in my hand. So to give you an idea. So we're going to go on to another game here. Alright, so we're on to another game here. Now, I'm not sideboarding because I'm testing this deck out for the first time at the moment. So there's a factory into a vice. That's a good start. So I'm already going to take a slap from the vice. You'll see it go down to 17 there. Now there's an island and a mox. Probably a flying man. Yep, there he is. Looks like I was playing with my kid or something there. And that's it for me. So we're going to pass. Again, sorry about the no dice thing. I did find them, by the way, but I have a little bag I keep my dice in, and sometimes it walks away. You'll see my old green beatdown box, if you guys know what beatdown was. That's a cool box, man. That box has been mine since the day it came out. And there's stickers and a lot of love on that box. All right. Yep, there's an... Oh, I did sideboard. Okay, so the only thing I did, though, is I wanted to... We were testing. I do remember this now. I only changed out the Blood Moons. So the Jin came out, and the 2 Blood Moons came out, and 3 Energy Fluxes went in. So the Amnesia is still main decked. But I really think that's a sideboard card for this deck. But let me know what you guys think. A lot of you guys don't realize, everybody always thought Mana Drain, or Amnesia was too much mana. But it is very powerful. And it's really not as much as you think. But the good thing about it is not every deck is going to have Amnesia in it. Because it's triple blue. So he's going to pay for the Howling Mine to keep it because he needs cards. Vice is not going to hit me anymore. So even with Howling Mine out, I'm way too low curve and I'm way too fast. My deck is technically 1 heavy. And the 1 is the Djinn. But because my curve is crazy, I do not worry at all. I'm going to let my Mox go. I'm going to must draw 2 cards. Looks like I'm having a lot of blue here. I don't think that's really a problem, though. Yep, there's a Serendib and a Flying Man. Swing for 1. He's at 18. Oh, there's an unsummon for the Efreet. He's going to pay for his Howling Mine. He needs cards desperately. But Howling Mine is a double-edged sword. Unless I'm doing a whole Twiddle Vault strategy, I don't like it. I like Stasis as almost like a Blood Moon effect. I want to slow my opponent down for just a few turns for me to kill him with a win condition. So I challenge you guys, if you guys have any ideas, join the Discord if you want to talk about it, or throw description or a list down in the comments. But if you think you could come up with a Stasis deck that is not Stasis, Howling Mine, and Vices, let's see what kind of things you can play up with and how you can think outside the box with Stasis. I challenge you guys to figure that out. Who can come up with the scariest deck with Stasis in it? Doesn't have to be centered around Stasis, just has to have Stasis in it. What can you do with Stasis? Alright, so I'm not paying for my mocks. But right now, without him realizing it, I'm setting up for a kill. There's another energy flux. So, what do you think he's going to end up doing? Yep. He's going to tap out for, I think yep. I think he accidentally drew 2 cards. It makes no damn difference. There goes one of the energy fluxes. And again, these are playtest games. They don't count. We're just trying to figure stuff out for the format. So there's a factory. And 2, I'm going to play another. There's my Efreet. So there's my dib. We're going to swing for 2. Put him down to 14. And there's the pass. I kind of expect a Stasis here. And I think I expected it in game 2. But it would basically just be like I said, Stasis, if you think about it, most of the time Stasis is a temporary lock, right? So if you weren't playing Stasis main, how much fun can you do? Now, you'll notice I just mana drain for 1. I'm trying desperately to... Yeah, we're going to unsummon again. But I just mana drain. Now that is a good spell to mana drain. But why would I be mana draining for 1? I did have a counter spell in hand. Why would I choose mana drain for 1? Like I said, this version did main deck 2 enchantments main and Amnesia. So I'm playing a control deck. I would have sideboarded it in any way at this point because I'm playing something that likes control and likes hands. So let's see what I was trying to do here. I'm gonna use the 1 I had. I'm gonna tap out completely. I'm gonna try and Amnesia the entire hand. Now he has 2. Yep, so there's the counter spell. It was worth a shot, but I did attack for 2. But even though it doesn't seem like I'm doing a whole lot right now, I'm basically keeping my opponent having to find answers all the time. So he's on the defensive all the time. So there's a swing for 2. And the pass. Alright, so let's see what I do here. Yep, there's a hit for 4. There's a bolt. A Chaos Orb. And we'll take out the problem child there. That's a hit. It was aimed at my middle flying man, by the way. Expect him to throw a Stasis down again in desperation here. Nope, boomerang. Alright. That way he's not going to die from the factory, at least. You never know. If I play Blood Moons, I could side in some Ball Lightnings or play a Ball Lightning. Yeah, Singleton Ball Lightning is very scary. Same thing with Giant Growth. People always will panic keeping stuff in their hand because they don't know if you have a Giant Growth or Ball Lightning coming out. Alright, so there's the hit for 2. That might be the lowest I think I've ever got, was this game. There's an Orc. There's a Dib. And there's no way around that one, and that's all she wrote. There's nothing he can draw with mono blue. That'll get him out of that. There's Stasis for fun, and death. Alright, so I'll show you another game here. There's a Flying Man. There's double blue. No surprise with a single color deck, but currently we're each on 20 and 20. We'll fix that as soon as somebody needs to do something. I'm sure we'll realize. Alright. Sorry, we started conversation there, so I skipped them for you. There's another volcanic island. Let's see what I have going on here now. There's a swing. And a pass. I might have an end-step bolt going off or something. Because now I know what I'm up against. So what would you typically do is start chucking out bolts and chains or whatever you have. Oh, okay, here we go. I was going to Ancestral Recall on end step. Oh, there's a Mana Drain. Apparently we don't like those. So now I'm going to take my turn. Play another source here. I might have a Demonic Tutor in hand. It's a lot of thinking. Swing for 1. Nope, that's right. I did have one, but I think I was keeping mana open for a mana drain. Yep. Looks like we're each going to hang on to 1 mana. We don't like each other that get Ancestor Recalls off. By the way, we are running Texas Old School tournaments now at White Dragon Comics in Tannersville, which is my local comic store. Gentleman Pete there is one of the most awesome store owners I've ever met in my life. You want to talk about hanging out and having a great time? That's the guy you want to hang out and have a great time with. So if you're ever near this area, or you're ever up, or you want to come hang out sometime, just let us know. There is a White Dragon Comics Discord where we share all the stuff, and I will post things here and there about the tournaments also. Here's that Demonic Tutor I was telling you about. I might as well use that and Demonic Tutor. I'll skip ahead of this for you. Alright, so there's the pass. The upkeep pay for Stasis. Another island. Typically you play a lot of islands with Stasis, if that's your main win condition. There's a factory. No, I did not Demonic Tutor for a factory. You'll see what I Demonic Tutored for here in a minute, because I know that Stasis is always a temporary lock, especially in this phase. It was to try and keep alive, so I didn't kill you. But you're also letting me fill my hand at the same time. So you're slowly running out of cards. Okay, there's another upkeep pay. Oh, one last island top decked. Looks like I drew another island. Am I seeing a dib? Nope. There's my card I Demonic Tutored for. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Small challenge. Alright, so now Energy Flux is out. You might think, why am I playing Energy Flux now? Well, what's his win condition? Well, when you main deck Stasis for your win condition, your stuff are artifacts, right? So now you got to worry about the Energy Flux. Alright, there's the pass. I'm going to untap. I'm going to just move my enchantment over there. Let's see what we got going off this turn. Looks like I'm going to toss out another Flying Man. Toss out an Orc. And slap out a Dib. And I'll hit you for 1. So now he's got to find a lot of answers. We're going to unsummon the Dib. Now don't underestimate Orcs and Flying Men. That's, I mean, right there you think, oh my god, the Dib's gone, right? But 2 for the factory, 2 for the Orc, 1 for each Flying Man. That's 6 damage on the table right now. That puts you at 11 life, assuming I have nothing else going on. Now there's another Stasis, which I'm not really concerned about at all, because I have an Energy Flux out. So his win condition is going to cost him 2 upkeep, just to keep. So he's got to get rid of my Energy Flux before he can even attempt to try and kill me. Now I should have just attacked here, but I don't know why I didn't. I should have just pinged him for 3. This is a judgment error on my end. Again, this is what I was talking about. I'm going to challenge you guys to build Stasis as a temporary lock. And one example is, what if my main deck is a couple Sarah Angels and things like that? What if I lock you down for like 3 turns like you're doing right now, but he happened to have an Angel out? I'm dead. That Angel looks more like a win condition than your Stasis does. So, and forget Kismet. You don't need Kismet. I'm locking you down for 2 or 3 turns, and I have counter spells, and I'm playing just blue and white, and I have blue and white control, but I'm using Stasis. That's one option to think about. Another cool deck to think about. See if you guys come up with an Enchantress deck. A really powerful Enchantress deck in this format. Looks like we're sending the orc back. This is why I said I should have attacked. There's a Soul Ring. Yeah. High five. Alright. Alright, so you might wonder why I'm playing a Soul Ring here. I'll be able to find out in a minute. Because I know he's going to run out. Because, like I said, Stasis, 90% of the time is a temporary lock. Especially when I have Energy Flux out. Alright, so it looks like I'm discarding some creatures here. And you might be thinking, why am I discarding my orcs, my dibs? Why am I discarding these things? Now, I actually have death in my hand already. So, I have enough to kill him outright. So as soon as I untap, Travis is going to lose all his life. There's a Howling Mine, which he knows he can't do. There's 3. And what am I going to throw out? Another, make sure you never play an artifact in your deck that requires artifacts to kill me. You have all your eggs in one basket when you play a pure Stasis deck. That's why I think most people are playing Stasis incorrectly. Stasis wasn't created for a mono blue. So there's the untap. And I'm pretty sure he's dead. Let's find out. Looks like I'm counting up right now to make sure I'm using everything correctly. There's 6 right there. So now he's down to 10. There, I'm going to attack for 4. Let's see if he unsummons. Yep. So hit for 2. There's a blast. And a time walk. And I'll show him my hand. I forgot he was at 4, but I could have just blasted him to death. But we were just kind of laughing. I figured I would kill him with some Flying Man or something. Alright, so give an idea here. If you look, Travis is... my son's excited. Travis is throwing out some of the Stasis deck that he had there. And we were going to make some changes here in a hot second. Alright. So now I'm trying to ease in the... use Stasis as a temporary lock. So all of a sudden, ooh, wait a minute, we have white. What does white do? That's a lot of removal, right? Plows, disenchants. But if you lost all your artifacts, it's not as bad. So the deck I'm back to is the main normal Blood Moon deck. So I'm going to hit with my Flying Man here and see what Travis does. There's an island. So now he's got Counter Magic open. Nope, I'm trying Ancestral Recall and he's counterspelling there. Which is actually scary, but I know it's in my hand. So I'm actually okay with it. Okay, there's an Orc. Now he has white, so I didn't want to chance the factory just yet. But next turn, if I want, I can chance the factory and try and swing in for 5. Remember, factory is a single, so you don't always want to just go guns out with your factories either, because you only have one now. There's another island. There's a swing. Yep, there's a chain. And the pass. There's an Ancestral Recall. I do not have a counterspell in hand, or I decided not to use it. Usually I'll use it for an Ancestral Recall, though. Alright, there's a Plow. Yeah, we're going to start realizing that. And this is what the deck has a problem with. I played a lot of the decks in Swedish when I was playing Bloody Flux. I won the one tournament, and then I ended up losing one literally, I think, with 1 life in the last game out of 3. Sorry, my son's having a challenge. Alright, there's a Vice that's probably never going to hurt me. He wanted to keep, I think, in this version, he wanted to keep like 2 Vices in there. But I think the next game we swap him out for Angels, because I'm trying to push him to try and test out a different version here. So there's an attack for 3. Let's see if he has another Plow in hand. Because he just tapped, he has 1 mana, so... Nope. That tells me, see the hesitation and the hand movements. That tells me he's got a Disenchant in hand. Or a Divine Offering. Alright all, sorry. Diaper change. Alright, there's Stasis for a temporary lock. That's that bolt. Looks like another Orc. It's going to boomerang the Stasis to get an untap. Now in this version, we're You still wanted to put a couple boomerangs in there and stick a little more with the core part of Stasis, but with white removal. So right now we're playing a blue-white Stasis deck. And I think there was a single Kismet in here. So there's Stasis. Attack for 2. I'm going to pass. Looks like I have 1 card in hand. Got boomerang the Stasis one more time. Got a full untap. There's another Stasis. Now remember, guys, you don't have to pay for Stasis. You may pay Stasis. So Stasis can end whenever you want it to end. You don't have to go until you're completely tapped out of everything and totally give up a free turn. Now he's also playing Disenchants in here too, so he can technically disenchant on my end step now. But he's really at 2 life right now. And again, I should be attacking for 2, but yep, there's attack for 2. Why am I attacking for 2? Because I want him off. Oh, looks like he got lucky and top deck another island there, so he's going to stay alive a little bit longer. Do I have a land and a bolt? Pretty sure I have direct damage in my hand and he's dead, but he's got to keep this lock going. But see how hard it is to try and get to Kismet? Even if he has Kismet in hand right now, it's very complicated to gain land when you're only paying 1 per turn and you only can play 1 land per turn. Unless Kismet's out first, it's very, very hard. Yep, there's a Desperation Plow there. I don't think it's going to matter at this time. Yeah, another Vice ain't gonna do much. But so now you see what Stasis with a white package will do. It gives you a bunch more removal, a bunch more answers. But you'll see I already had a Bolt in hand, I had Demonic Tutors, I had plenty of answers. So here you'll see us kind of changing out a little bit. So we're going away from Stasis as a main win condition. Alright, so now we're more into Stasis as a temporary lock. Almost like a Blood Moon strategy, okay? We want to try and take control of the game. So basically this deck right now is running everything blue and white you would see in the deck. It's all the control, the whole package. The only difference with this one is you're running 1 Gemday Tome. Alright, so there's an Ancestor Recall and a Flying Man. Looks like he's going to recall himself. And it's his turn. We'll see what he's got going on here. Yeah, a lot of you guys might be thinking when you look at my deck that the amount of blue I have is a little over. Well, when you've been playing a lot of Blood Moon a lot, you don't want to have yourself slow down. 5 blue. Do math. 5 blue is a very low % chance of having double blue when you have Blood Moon out. Does he have the counter? Yes, he does. Now here's the challenge. This strategy is very chancy for him right now. He had to do it. But he has 6 mana in a mana burn format. He's going to have to dump everything. Now, he actually just saved his own butt there, because I believe I have like 2 orcs or 3 orcs or something like that in hand. So that moat is actually pretty powerful. So like I said, this is kind of like the deck version. This is like kind of what I play, mixed into a Stasis. So I believe we had 3 Stasis main. But all the removal and all the counter spells, the recalls, the brain geysers, all of it. God bless you, buddy. Now later on we ended up with a full-blown the deck, where it was basically mine copied, but the only difference is it had no disrupting scepters. And there was one other card that was different I can't think of, but basically it was no scepters and it was 3 stasis in the deck. So it was very interesting kind of take on it that we ended up coming up with to try and test things out. We played about 10 or so games of that, and I did not record that one because I don't want to show that deck that much, but it was a lot of fun, and I think that definitely has a lot of possibilities. All right, so there's a pass turn. Now, if you look, when I said about mana burn, you'll see he had to take a bunch of damage from that mana drain. Hmm. All right. Looks like we're going to do a bolt and a blast. So he's down to 9. There's where I was kind of laughing with him a little bit. I said, yeah, this would have been a problem for you if you didn't have that moat. I think I end up playing them all out here shortly anyway. So I was not stressing over it. And like I said, we're just goofing around playtesting. And this is my vanilla version, so this is going to have just Blood Moon in it. And what I ended up doing, you'll see here from playtest, I decided to put Amnesia in sideboard only. And put the 3rd Blood Moon in. But this one you're watching only had 2 Blood Moons. So I went from having basically 2 Blood Moons and a Demonic Tutor to 3 Blood Moons and a Demonic Tutor. So now we're just going to play the pass game. He's going to keep a lot of control cards in hand, try and keep that moat alive, and try and keep me out of killing him. So right now, I think, why am I playing all these orcs out? I'm playing them out because if I end up getting a Chaos Orb out with Counterspell to protect it, I might be able to get rid of that moat and just kill him in one shot if I have a bunch of creatures out. But the only ground creatures I have in here are 4 orcs and 1 factory. So it's only 5 creatures you're really stopping out of my whole deck with moat. Alright, so take my turn here, drop another orc that I just top decked the 3rd orc. Looks like I'm passing with 3. Oh, looks like I'm going to end up doing something now. Oh, looks like I'm playing that chess game. Now, knowing this deck and knowing the cards in it, I'm sure you have a pretty good idea what's in my hand at the moment. Alright, so there's a pass turn. There's some conversations, and Travis had to do something real quick. But now I'm drawing. Now I have plenty of land out. So now I'm going to start testing the waters here a little bit. I'm going to Brain Geyser. Is he going to counter my Brain Geyser? No. So let's draw the 3 cards from Brain Geyser. Now my only weakness with this deck is enchantments. I'm going to have a hard time getting around enchantments. But enchantments like Abyss and Moat are restricted. So if you only have one of them, my Chaos Orb looks a little bit better. But your traditional Swedish, the deck, will not survive. You're missing a little too much creature control out of it. You can try running Moat and Abyss, but then what are you going to kill me with? Because you can't attack 3 on Moat, so... And you only have 1 factory, so you have to play different versions. There's a Bolt on end step. Looks like he's... Yeah, this version he was, I think, putting 2 Psionic Blasts, so it's a lot like Triple S. I think he had 2 Psionic Blasts in this temporary version. I ended up having him take him out. But there's a Flying Man. Oh, there's a 5/6 flyer. He's got to play something now. I'm expecting Plow. And like I said, we were basically making one change here, little in there, but I want you to see the thought process and what we're messing around with Texas Old School at the moment. Alright, so there's a Chaos Orb. I'm sure we're going to flip on the big guy. Oh, that's right. He was playing a Chaos Orb and I was sidetracked. I had to do something on my kid. So yeah, I countered the Chaos Orb. But there's a Plow. When you're at that low life, you want to try and keep a counter spell to save your life. If I throw a double bolt out, at least you can counter one, try and stay alive a little bit and stabilize. We all know you've seen the deck win with 1 life. So it's not impossible. Here's a Boomerang for the Flying Man. Again, we're still keeping a lot of the Stasis cards in here, but I wanted to really get rid of all the Stasis cards except for a couple Stasis and see what happens. There's a Blood Moon. Let's see exactly what he can do at the moment, because he's got to do something. Because now he'll have no blue. It's going to disenchant the Blood Moon, so he floats the mana. Now I'm going to play a Flying Man. Oh yeah, end step blast. Attack for 1. Or is he going to plow? Oh, boomerang. Play him again. And now we're going to Time Twister. Alright, drawing our cards here. Let's see what I can get with 7 cards. Again, this is still my 2 Blood Moon version. I keep going back and forth if I want to keep two Blood Moons main or 3 Blood Moons main. Oh, looks like I got a Lotus. Uh-oh. Yep, amnesia. Oh, man. No counter magic. There's the Angel and Stasis I was talking about. If he had a counter spell, he could have countered. Well, he's dead with Bolt, but basically, if he got that combination quicker, he could have locked the game down with the Stasis and killed me with Angel. Alright, so this is the last game here, but this is basically only, I believe in this version, all the baloney was pulled out, and I think it was just 3 Stasis left. I think that's what this version was. So there's a quick bolt. There's an orc. Yep, there's 3 for the dip. Counterspell, yep, counter a dip, swing for 2. So that orc has already brought him down to 15 because of a bolt. And if you look at my hand and know what I have, you have an idea he's gonna need white desperately. I think he had something wrong with the combination in this deck. I think we missed a land or something, but there's a quick time walk. So maybe that's why he was doing. He wasn't worried about the white yet, but nope, there's another black he had. Let's see what we got. Alright, well there's an attack with an orc and 2 flying men. So now he's looking 4 damage next turn. I wonder if I have a bolt or something like that in hand also. Because I know I'm playing a control type deck. Like you would typically do, you're going to end step the damage to your opponent. Don't do it during your turn unless it's a chain. That's why I only play 2 chains. Nope, no end step damage, but let's see what we got here. I might do like an alpha strike with some damage here now. Oh, or do I have amnesia? Nope. Swing for 4. Down at 9. Well, it looks like I passed turn. Oh, balance. Okay. Well, I have 0 hand. So Yeah, so he's going to boomerang in response. He's going to boomerang something to my hand. Yeah, boomerang the Mox to my hand. So I can keep one card. I wonder what that card was that he gave up a counterspell. Alright, so now we're kind of showing like, oh my god, what did he go through? That's a lot of stuff that we're dealing with already at the moment. But you got to do something to stay alive, right? So there's a chain down to 6. Now I don't have a hand, so we are top decking. But I'm a card heavy. So the chances of me drawing something that isn't crazy. Now I know he gave up that counterspell, but did he have another one? Yep, he did. It was worth a shot though. I knew he pitched a counterspell, so the chances of having another one were mathematically pretty low, but it looked like he had one. There's an orc. A recall for 2. Alright, so we ended up recalling for 2. We got a counterspell and a time walk to take an extra turn there. Try and get some card draw, or no, balance and a time walk. So got a balance. He took a time walk to take an extra turn and used a balance to wipe out. We had nothing in hand, so yep, I told him to drop. Always keep the basic island just in case. Especially when you're playing a deck like this, you want to make sure your 4 blue blast and sideboard go out. So there's another hit for 3. There's a Blood Moon. There's nothing he can do about that at the moment. He does still have double blue. Here's a pass turn. Another mountain. He still had one boomerang in there. In this version. But he's going to play a Sarah Angel. Oop, I accidentally picked up my Blood Moon. Or did I just play another one? Nope, looks like I played another Blood Moon. I want to get him off of white. There's a Stasis. Now, see, here's the lock I was messing around with, but the problem is he's already down to 3. Take a wild guess what I'm going to time twister and get. Alright, so now I'm flipping. Let's see if he has 2 counter spells. Nope. And he got off of white because of the Blood Moon. So he can't even plow his own angel to stay alive. Alright, well, that was one of the versions that we hybrided to. So, not sure what to call this video yet, but I hope you guys enjoyed it a little bit and to see what kind of train of thought and way I'm going here with this bloody blank whole deck. Hope you fill the gap there, but that's the name of it. I just don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, so I'm not going to say the actual name. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing day. It seems like you guys are enjoying Texas Old School. If you got some decks, man, toast something up. Even if you're not going to play in the Texas Old School for the next tournament. But I would definitely get in it and play in the next tournament. It costs nothing. If you want to play an in-person one, that would be awesome too. But if you want to play the online ones, it costs you nothing. So have a wonderful day.